Hi guys, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for all the likes, the comment, and for sharing. I hope you guys had a good weekend, and I hope you guys have a good week. Before we start this video, guys, please be advised there's a trigger alert. This video is about abuse, so be advised. When I talked last, I was telling you about all the stories of all the. I jumped around a lot, but I told you stories about the bad behavior that I began to have. And I told you guys about the behavior, but we didn't talk about the consequences. And for every time that I got in trouble, for every time I stole something, for every time I got suspended, my principal name was Mr. Spencer. And when he would take me in the office, he would call my father's pastor study's telephone number. He wouldn't even call the house. He knew the pastor's study phone number by heart. You know, that's how often he called my father. And I got beat with everything I did. There's no getting talked to. I didn't get a pass. No passes came. If my father was out of town and I did something wrong, my mother would tell him. And he would tell me over the phone what he was going to do to me when he got home. I remember on one occasion when my father did something and he was in Texas. I did something and my father was in Texas. And my mother told him over the phone what I did. My father put me on the phone and told me that when he got home tomorrow, he was going to beat my natural ass. And he would always say that, I'm going to beat your natural ass. And he meant naked as a jaybird. And so when I got out of school that day, the next day, because I know he probably going to be there when I got home from school, sometimes close to that, I ran all the way home and I ran to the closet where you keep the medications. And I swallowed a whole bunch of, I don't know if it was aspirin or Tylenol. But to this day, I can't take an aspirin or a Tylenol because of that. So I swallowed this whole bottle, about half the bottle of Tylenol, because I thought I'd rather die than get that whipping that he was going to give me, because I had done something really bad. He was going to beat me down. It might have been one of them bloody ones. And so I was really scared, so I took the aspirin or the Tylenol, and so he got home about 7 o'clock that evening. And like I said, there's no passes. And he was about to beat the daylights out of me with that extension cord. And just as he was, I started throwing up. And it was bad, you guys. I mean, I swallowed all those pills. So it was pretty bad. I think we had spaghetti that day for dinner. And he made my sister clean it up. And I didn't get a whooping on that time. That I gave myself a pass, but man, to this day, I can't take a Tylenol or aspirin. I taste it all through my body. Just one. Nope, can't do it. So, every time I did something, I got in trouble. I told you guys that I stole the school money, and that was the biggest time that I ever got beat. My father beat me so bad that day that I bled all over the house. I didn't drop one tear. I mean, that man beat me, boy. I'm telling you, he beat me. I could cry today, but I didn't drop one tear. My siblings were crying, and my dad was really, really scared. He called my mother at work and told her to come home. And, I needed stitches, but of course they didn't take me to the doctor. They know they couldn't take me to the doctor. And like I said, we got suspended from that school district. So we had to go to another school district. And they didn't see it, but I was swept up. I was swept up for a long time, probably a month. If they would, I don't know what they would have done. But I couldn't sit down. I literally couldn't sit in the chair. Beat your ass, you can't sit down. You be thinking, we just exaggerate. Yeah, I couldn't sit down. He beat my back and my ass so bad that I literally couldn't sit down in class. I remember standing in the back of the class and the teacher allowing me to do so. So, all these things started happening, my behavior. I'm 9 years old when it started happening. I was 9 years old when I was walking through the back door and my father says, "Hey, look, Janine got titties." And that night, he was all over me. But So it was 9 years old when my behavior, I'm only realizing that now, but it was 9 when my behavior started to change. It was known at the time where I go from 6 A's and 1 D to 6 F's and 1 D. 6 A's and 1 D, the D was in gym. And then when I had the 6 F and 1 D, the D was for math. And all the rest, I couldn't dress out for gym because I thought that everybody would be looking at me, but actually I was going to be looking at them. So I'm jumping around, and that's not what I want to do. So what I'm trying to say is my behavior started, and I started acting up when the abuse started. Now, the sexual abuse started before the physical abuse actually started, because he wasn't angry until sexual abuse started. My father used to be the funnest guy in the world. When I was a little girl, my dad played with me, and when we, you know how every little kid does, when we exaggerate, and when the kid says, when a kid hits you, and everybody make a deal, Nene hit so hard, and that's what they did, and I sucked it all up, and my dad did that for me, he gave me that. My dad told me one time, my dad told me one time that he would never ever let anybody hurt me. I remember that. We were on Riston Court when my father said that. So, with everything I did, and I got suspended from school every day. If I was suspended sometimes for 10 days, and if I went back, and if I made it 2 days in school, great, but most times I was going to be suspended as soon as I got back to the school. Most of the time, my father didn't even know I was suspended, because I would be sitting there outside, hiding around the house, waiting on the mailman to put the mail in the mailbox, and Daddy would be sitting right there reading the Bible by that window. And man, if he'd go pee or something, I would find that chance, grab that one piece of paper, because it says I can't come back to school without a parent and shit. How was I gonna tell them that I didn't had this paper for 2 weeks? One time I didn't start school for 2 weeks after everyone else. My dad thought I was going to school. I couldn't go to school. I burnt all the school books the year before in the locker. So I couldn't go back to school. I couldn't produce the books. And I couldn't tell my dad. He was going to kill me. So, he didn't find out that I hadn't attended the first day of school until 2 weeks of school had already passed. But all these things started happening because of the abuse. My dad, not only did he sexually abuse me, and those beatings that he gave me, those were physical abuse. If you were to ask me that I deserve an ass whooping for stealing the entire school's field trip money, hell yeah. What I should call it, monkey stump. He should have monkey stumped me. You know what I mean? But why did I do that? Why was I stealing? Why was I lying? Just why, Little kids are knuckleheads, okay? Sometimes they fight. Maybe they got anger problems. I was doing that too, you know what I'm saying? But don't do everything every day. Maybe if you got ADHD or something, but I didn't have none of that. I was a sweet little girl. How come all of a sudden I'm Nightmare on Elm Street? What the hell is going on? And how come no one hears me? Because I'm screaming, When I set Donald or Ronald, the set of twins that went to the school, one of them was walking right beside me as we're walking down the hallway. And I just he had a Jerry Carroll. And I just lit his whole head on fire. You know what I'm saying? You don't think I wasn't screaming for help? What the hell? You know what I'm saying? I promise you when I did that, I was just coming back off another suspension. Yeah. And why did I keep going and getting myself suspended when I know what's going to be happening to me at the house? That was stupid of me. I'll tell you how dumb kids are. So I'm going to get even more sexually abused at the house while everybody's at school. You would think that since he knows he's going to molest me, that he would give me the pass. Why beat my ass? Why beat my ass and molest me? Come on. You dogging me on you know what I'm saying? Guys, over 50% of the people who molest little girls are their natural fathers. And my father was my natural father. He's my birth father. So I also know that it's possible he could have been abused. Did you guys know that 30 to 40% of the people that do abuse sexually, verbally, physically, have been abused themselves? You know, yeah, they've been abused themselves, and it's a learned behavior. You pass it on. I passed it on. I did. You know, he passed it on to me. That's what I'm saying. He sure did. He sure did. I verbally abused my children, and I physically abused my children. I did. I can't apologize to them enough. Be honest, and there's no excuse. You do what you know to do. No one ever guided me in any direction. I don't give a damn what you say. The only guidance, only thing I ever got was love. I got love from every cousin, every auntie, everybody. No, not one person talked to me ever in my lifetime about college. Not one person. I remember getting in trouble one time for doing my homework when my stepmom felt that the laundry was way more important. And that's how both my parents felt. They didn't give a damn about school. They didn't. I don't know if I said this already. I had 6 F's, I had 6 A's and 1 D. I showed that to my mom and dad. They didn't say a word. It was just a piece of paper I brought home. They signed it. That was it. 6 A's and 1 D. That really affected me. Because it wasn't long, and not just that, but that did affect me. But it wasn't long after then, I had a report card that was 6 F's and 1 D. And the D was in math. And the first D was in gym. So now, when I took that report card home, I got the beat down. Oh, my dad had a fit. You know, how could you, we ain't raising no dummies, all those things. So, on the next report card, you know I can't have all A's because I came off all F's, right? So my next one, I got C's galore. Thumbs up. They're not gonna beat me up this time. I take them to C's. They don't say one word. They don't say a word. So they didn't care about our education, and so nor did we. I had no drive. A lot of things that I learned about being a little girl and hygiene, things like that, I learned when I was 32 years old in prison. And I kid you not. I'm not even going to embarrass myself. Yes, I learned. Those women taught me things that nobody